Welcome. Today we're talking about leadership with purpose, and specifically personal leadership. Throughout our journey together, we've been talking about 5 vital signs or indicators of life and health, which are spirit, soul, body, relationship, and leadership with purpose.
There's an order of priority to the care of each of these areas of vital signs, as the health of one directly affects the health of the next.
So the health of our leadership is directly related to the health of each of other 4 areas or vital signs.
Yes, if you neglect health in any one of these areas, sooner or later it will affect the health of the other.
Yes.
That's why we created the Vital Signs series to help us and you obtain and maintain health in all 5 areas.
Yes. In the next 4 classes, we will talk about leadership. Maybe you heard the phrase, leaders are made, not born. In a sense, it is true. We don't just wake up with the capacity to lead well. There is a process involved to grow from dependence to independence and finally to interdependence.
In the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, it calls this process of growth from dependence to interdependence, the maturity continuum. It starts with dependence on others to teach us as we learn to function independently. Then we can become interdependent to work with and lead others.
If you think about the physical process of growth, a baby is born and completely dependent on others to feed, teach, guide, and sustain him. We begin by being breast or bottle fed and then move to solid food. As the days and years pass, we become more and more independent in every way, physically, emotionally, relationally, and economically, and we are able to eat meat and feed ourselves.
As we naturally grow on the growth continuum and we reach a point where we understand that a full, healthy life requires interdependence. Interdependence is the ability to work with others and to care not only for yourself, but take responsibility to feed and help others who are dependent on us for their development.
Dependent people need others to get what they need or want. Independent people can take care of themselves well.
And interdependent people are able to combine their gifts, resources, and strengths with others to produce a greater effect.
That is called synergy. Healthy leaderships require personal development through this process to arrive at interdependence.
Physical development is not enough. We need to grow and develop mentally, emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. That's why the vital signs are body, soul, spirit, relationships. Growth in one of these areas does not necessarily mean we have grown or have matured in all of the others.
Yes. Over the next few classes, we'll be discussing personal, relational, corporate, and kingdom leadership. The foundation for healthy leadership in every area is personal leadership development.
If we stop our growth process at independence, that would be selfish.
It is selfish.
While we may be able to become productive on a personal level, we would be unable to lead well or be good team members.
In Luke 12, we read about a selfish man who was blessed, but only thought about himself. And it says, so he said, I will do this. I will put down my barns and build graders, and then I will store all my crops and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have many goods laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, fool, this night your soul will be required of you.
And later on in chapter 12, I think verse 48, it says, for everyone to whom much is given, of him much will be required. And of him to whom men entrust much, they will require more. To have success in marriage, family, work, and life requires personal responsibility, intentional growth, and maturity to interdependence.
Stephen Covey says it this way: life itself is interdependent. Trying to achieve maximum effectivity in life independently is like trying to play tennis with the golf club.
I don't think that would work very well. The concept of interdependence is much more advanced than independence. It is predicated on the understanding that you and I working together can accomplish much more than we could if we were each working alone.
Like we say, that's synergy. We are better together than each of us individually working at our highest level. Like the birds that fly, in the V formation can go farther, faster by flying together.
Yes, and when we are interdependent, we have the opportunity to share in profound and significant ways with others, as well as access to the resources, gift, and potentials of others.
Interdependence can only be achieved by those who have first become independent.
People who are dependent don't have the option of being interdependent and living life to its fullest because they've not yet attained the character and the maturity necessary to steward themselves well.
Amen. That's why the 7 Habit book teaches that the 3 steps for personal success and growth to independence are: number 1, be proactive as opposed to reactive. Number 2, start with the end in mind. And number 3, put first things first, which are learn how to prioritize your life and time.
You can learn more about much of what we're talking about in this video by reading the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. You can also find many YouTube videos about the 7 Habits, and the PDF of the book, I know in Spanish, is available online, probably in English as well.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about the 7 Habits in the coffee and dessert video. Our objective in this video is to share the process of maturity required to become a good leader. And it begins with moving from dependence to independence and then interdependence.
If you're a parent, would you rather have an obedient child or a responsible child?
Good question. Both are important, but there is an order. We first teach them obedience and then submission, but for them to fully develop to maturity, we must transition them to responsibility.
You don't want to skip obedience because submission to God and authority, the authority He places in your life, is key to a successful Christian life. But there is a transition from obedience to responsibility. Healthy leaders have learned to be humble and submitted to God and wise mentors. And they have achieved independence and are able to take responsibility for their own life and then have progressed to interdependence as they learn to work effectively with and guide others, helping them to grow to their full potential.
Join us in the next portion where we'll talk about the importance of understanding your unique identity, gifts, and purpose for powerful personal leadership.